everybody. My name is Papa Jim, and I'm with Old School Yoga. I'm partnering with the Mid-Continent Public Library for their virtual classes via Facebook or YouTube. Welcome all you insomniacs, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know the deal. Time means nothing to us. Old School Yoga is who I represent. I am Old School Yoga because I'm an old guy. Obviously, we partnered with Mid-Continent Public Library for this yoga series, Introduction to Yoga. Old School Yoga because, one, I'm an old guy. Secondly, I believe that yoga should be practiced the old way, going back to the roots. And the roots of yoga originate from the ancient Sanskrit language. Yoga actually translates to yoke. Like in the old days when you would take 2 mules and yoke them together, or 2 oxen and yoke them together. Yoga translates to yoke or union, like the union between peanut butter and jelly, or the union between brother and sister, or in this case, the union between my partner, Tricia, and myself. So in our series, we're introducing you to the basics of yoga. In yoga philosophy, there are 5 sheaths of being. I'm not going to get into much of that right now, but I want to introduce Tricia and lead into the 5 sheaths of being. The 5 sheaths of being can be looked at like a lampshade. In the middle of the lampshade, you have a light bulb, and there are 5 different shades outside of it. That light bulb will shine through to various degrees those lampshades. So all the time, every time, all of our lives, all these 5 sheaths are working, whether we know it or not, but we live in only the outer sheaths. So just very quickly, I'm not going to bore you, promise. Very quickly, picture the 5 sheaths of being like that lampshade, or like Russian dolls, where you open the Russian dolls and there's one doll inside the other. So the most basic level that we are operating at on this earth is the physical level. The physical level, our bones, our blood, our nerves, the rocks, the trees, all the physicalness of this world and of us is the physical plane. The physical outer sheath of being. The next inward of our Russian dolls is the energy body. The energy body is essentially breath. Breath. Breath is pranayama in Sanskrit. Breath is where we find our energy. Breath is where we have to work. Very simple. No breath, no body. So we're operating on the physical, we're operating on the energy level. The next level inside of this, the third Russian doll, is the mental or mind. This is our ego, our thoughts, our rational thinking, our logical thinking, our memories, our thoughts, our traumas, our dramas, everything about this monkey mind that when you're lying there, your mind's going 1,000 miles, that's that level. We all operate on it. I do, Tricia does, we all do. The level beneath that, the 4th sheath of being, is the one I really enjoy, and that is where you have clairvoyancy, ESP, that sort of stuff taking place. A good example of that, very quickly. Good example is you haven't seen Aunt Sally for 30 years, and you were sitting around one day, hadn't thought of her for 20 years. I wonder what Aunt Sally's up to. I haven't seen her forever. I wonder what she's up to. And then the next day, Aunt Sally calls. That is the 4th sheath of being. But we'll get into more of that in another series. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and tell you what Tricia will do. We've already done in prior classes a mat class and a standing class. We're going to blend it all together now and have mat class, a standing stuff, and blend it all together. It's going to be perfect. You're going to like it. So without further ado, Tricia, it's all yours.
All right, thank you. I am glad that you're joining me again. Let's come to an easy seated posture, any way you'd like. And so once you settled in, I want to challenge you to switch out the leg in front, because we tend to go to the same side every time. So let's switch it up. Switch out that leg for me. Bring your hands out to the side. Let's close our eyes down. Let's tune into some breath work. If you aren't comfortable with having your eyes closed, and just soften your gaze and just look at the floor in front of you, and really try not to look at the floor. Like, allow your awareness to move inward, some introspection. I'd like to ask you to see yourself as an explorer. Start to feel your breath. Observe, how do your feet feel? How do your ankles feel? How are your knees? Can you lift your ribs away from your hips a little bit? Slide your shoulders down your back. Stretch the crown of your head towards the ceiling. And just feel the energy it takes to be sitting tall and confident. Your breath is the most important part of your practice. No breath, no life. Start to slow down your breath. So the more we practice yoga, the more we tune into our Ujjay breathing, and we get our strength to move from posture to posture through our Ujjay breath. The Ujjay breath is victorious. It's energetic. We inhale through the nose and we exhale through the nose. Take a full breath in for me, and I'd like you to pause for a brief moment and exhale out of your mouth like you're fogging a mirror. Do that again. Full breath in through the nose. Relax your jaw. Exhale it out. Feel it in your throat. It's called a throat breath. One more time. Full breath in. Pause. Relax your jaw. Exhale it out. So now I want you to seal your lips. We breathe through the nose in yoga. But I want you to still feel it. I want you to hear it. I want you to feel it in your throat. Tune into that breath and set your intention for your practice. Why are you practicing yoga today? What do you want to get from your yoga practice? Confidence, courage, calm, peace, stress relief. And what are you going to give to your practice? Attention, intention, awareness. Kind of make that little pact. What's your theme going to be on the mat today? May we be at peace. May our hearts remain open. May we know the beauty of our own true spirit. May we be healed. And may we be a source of healing in this world. May all beings be happy, and may all beings be free. Take a full breath in. Pause. Full breath out of your nostrils. Open your eyes. We'll take your hands out to the side. Inhale and sweep those arms all the way up over your head. Exhale and release. Inhale your arms up, ribs expand. Exhale and release. Draw your floating ribs in. Inhale those arms up over your head. Now reach for the opposite elbow. Kind of straighten out that lumbar spine, that low back curve. Let's try to get rid of that curve a little bit. Take a breath. As you exhale, just reach towards the right here. And look up at that left arm. Can you get that bicep behind your nose? If not, just take those arms out in front of you a little bit. That's okay. Now, turn your chin towards the right shoulder. Really press down into that left sit bone and reach that left elbow towards the ceiling. So I want you to feel your whole left side body starting to get a nice stretch. Breathe in. Breathe out. Observe. Are you holding your breath? New breath in. Exhale, reach that left elbow towards the right. And inhale, come center. Readjust. Draw your tailbone into the mat just a little bit deeper. Take a breath. Exhale, we'll reach it towards the left. And look up at your right arm for a moment. See if you can get your bicep behind your nose. When you're ready, turn your chin towards your left shoulder. Take a breath. Exhale, stretch that right elbow up towards the ceiling, keeping your right sit bone grounded, keeping in contact with the mat. Full breath in, and a full breath out. Inhale. Exhale, reach that elbow towards the ceiling one last time. And come on up. Release your arms, roll your shoulders back. Take your hands to your knees. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, start to press your spine towards the back of your mat. Tuck your chin and round. Inhale, rock to the front of your sit bones. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, rock to the back of your sit bones. Press that spine behind you. Tuck your chin. So this is seated cat-cow. Inhale, rock on your pelvis. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale and round it out. And we'll do this with a couple of breaths. Move at your pace. What feels good in your body? That's what yoga's all about. That connection, that union, right? Mind, body, and spirit. Exhale and round it out. Let's do 2 more of these. Inhale, sit up tall. Take a breath. As you exhale, move over towards your left hip and start to come around to the front for little energy circles. So we inhale as we sit tall and we exhale as we come forward. Just go slow. Just tune into your breath. Exhale as you fold. Inhale as you sit tall. Now we have an option here. We can really fold, or we can sit tall and just kind of churn around the spine. So kind of play with it. Sometimes I just like to do the little churn. Sometimes I really like to fold. So see what feels good in your body. We all carry stuff differently. Let's do 1 more round. Come to center. Sit tall, roll your shoulders back, and switch out the leg you have in front. Take your hands out to the side, inhaling your arms all the way up over your head. Exhale and release. Very nice. Inhale, connecting breath with movement. That's what we want to practice in our yoga. Exhale, release. Inhale your arms up over your head. As you exhale, release the right hand to the floor. Stretch the left arm over. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, we'll go to the other side. And just move side to side a couple times. Keep those sit bones grounded. Try to avoid tipping or leaning those sit bones off the mat. And 1 more round, both sides. Make sure that you are symmetric, right? Balanced out. All things balanced. Roll your shoulders back. Bring your hands to your knees. And we'll move through our seated cat-cow again. So lift your chest. Big breath in. Exhale and round it out. Tuck your chin. Inhale, lift your chest. Lift your chin. Exhale, round it out. Tuck that chin. We want to massage that thyroid. So important for our metabolism and our immune system. Exhale, bring it in. 2 more. Inhale, lift the chest. Lift your chin. Exhale and round it out. Tuck your chin. 1 more. Inhale and lift. Exhale, round it out. Inhale, sit up tall. Roll your shoulders back. We'll reverse those little Sufi grinds or energy circles moving towards the right. Remember, fold forward, keep your sit bones in contact with the mat. You have the option to really fold, or you can do that little churny churn. And just remind yourself that you are an explorer. You're finding where stuff likes to hide in your body, and you're blasting it away. You're excavating it. Yoga has been used for thousands of years to heal bodies of ailments. It was never meant to be a form of exercise, but a way to release stress and disease. Let's do 2 more full circles. So today we're going to move through what we call a flow, trying to keep the body moving. All right, sit up tall, roll your shoulders back, and we'll come to tabletop. So hands are right underneath the shoulders, and knees are underneath the hips. When you get here, tap out the tops of your feet. Your fingers are wide, and start to move through our cat and our cow again. Tuck your tailbone, press the spine towards the ceiling, and tuck your chin. Inhale, tip the tailbone up, lower the chest a little, and lift your chin. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, press through the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lower the chest a little, lift your chin. 2 more. Work with your breath. One more. Now come into a cat, strong cat. Curl your toes, hover your knees away from the mat. Take a breath, exhale into another cat tilt, really strong cat tilt. Those knees lift a little higher, and allow those glutes to lift towards the ceiling, and then pedal out your feet. Take a step back, look at your hands, and you might move those hands just a handprint forward. Lift your heels and bend your knees slightly. Press your belly back towards your thighs. Press into your finger pads. Oftentimes we sink into the base of the palm, and it wears the wrist out. I want you to notice those finger pads, strong hands. Lift your glutes a little higher towards the ceiling, and then stretch one heel towards the mat. Keep your right knee bent. Let's stretch that left heel as close to the mat as we can. Lift the left heel and stretch the right heel towards the mat. Don't force it to touch. We just want to direct the stretch all the way through the heel. Lift the right heel. Bend both knees. Press your belly back towards your thighs. Lift your head and step your feet up towards your hands. Rest your belly on your thighs. So bend your knees and turn the backs of your hands to the mat. So palms are up. Let your head rest. Maybe gently rock your head yes and no. Shift into the ball of the foot a little bit. As you exhale, bring your ribs further down your thighs. Uttanasana is to lengthen your spine, not your legs. So go ahead and bend your knees. When the knees are bent, we're protecting the back. Take another breath. Put a big bend in your knees and ragdoll it up nice and slow. Round spine as you come up. Inhale your arms all the way up over your head, hands into prayer. Bring those hands into heart center, soften your knees and bow down to the mat. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, lift your torso, shoulders are hip level. Exhale, fold again. Plant your hands on the mat. Step that left foot back, a little runner's lunge here. So you can always have your hands up on your block. If the floor seems too far away, you can always use your block to get it a little bit closer to you. So hands on the block or not, I want you to bend your left knee towards the mat and then straighten it out. Just stay right here in your runner's lunge. Bend that knee and straighten it out. Bend your knee. Straighten it out. Hold it here. Slide your left hand closer to your right foot and extend that right hand towards the ceiling. If your shoulder feels really tight, you can just take that right hand out shoulder level. If that feels a little bit better for you, you can even take that arm up in front of you. So kind of play with what feels good in your shoulder. And we'll take just one more breath here. Release that right hand to the mat. Turn your left toes out and walk your hands so they're at a diagonal to your right foot. And be up on your fingertips. So right knee stays bent, left leg is strong. Feel the outer edge of your left foot. Drop your glutes a little bit. Take a breath. Notice outer edges of both feet. Now slowly walk those hands so they're a little bit more center. Then bring those hands right underneath your shoulders. Cat tilt for me, right? So tuck your tailbone toward the floor, press into your heels, and round yourself up, nice and slow. Arms come out shoulder level. This is called Virabhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2. Inhale, straighten out your right leg. Bring your arms up over your head. Exhale and bend that right knee. Inhale, straighten it out. Exhale, bend your right knee. One more time. Inhale, straighten it out. Exhale and bend that right knee. Take your right forearm to your right thigh. Bring that left arm right out in front of you. Now lean into that right arm and bring that left arm over your head. Side angle stretch. I want you to feel a nice strong line of energy from your left foot through the torso, out those fingers. Reach as far as you can. Take one more breath here. Nice strong legs. Inhale, come back to your Warrior 2 posture and then straighten out that right leg. Heel toe that left foot in one time. Reach your right fingers towards the front edge of your mat. Get really long. Make a crease between your hip and your thigh on your right side. Take your right hand to your shin or to a block. And bring that left arm all the way up. Now again, if this is something with your shoulder, we can keep a hand on a hip. We can take that left arm out in front, or we can bring that left arm over our head. Honor what your shoulder is signaling to you. Now squeeze your right thigh. We want to protect that knee. If you've got something going on around your knee, bend it a little bit. And wherever you're at, see if you can give me just a little bit of a cat tilt. Breathe in. Use your breath. Your breath is going to help you get stronger. Put a slight bend in your right knee. Turn your gaze down and release that left hand. Turn those left toes forward, holding your runner's lunge. Step back to plank. Hips high, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. We're going to do that on the left, and so I'm going to let you see my backside so you can see what it looks like from the other angle. Lift your heels, pick up your left foot and bend your knee, and step that foot right between your hands. Hold your little runner's lunge here. Take a breath. As you exhale, bring that right knee a little closer to the mat and then just straighten out. So we're not lifting the hips. We're just bending the knee and straightening the right leg. Bend your knee closer to the mat and straighten it out. Bend your knee and straighten it out. One more time. Bend your knee, straighten it out. Now turn your left toes out. Walk your hands around so they're at a diagonal to that left foot. Or turn your right toes out. I'm sorry. Did I mess you up there? Drop those glutes. Bend your left knee a little bit deeper if you can. Feel the outer edge of your right foot. Feel that inner thigh getting a nice stretch. I want you to notice those feet. You're on your fingertips. Press those hips back a little bit. Full breath in. I know this is a strong, strong posture. Be thankful you have those strong legs. Now slowly walk those hands so they're center, and we'll bring them so they're right under our shoulder. Now cat tilt for me. Press into your heels, round yourself all the way up, and come into Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, straighten out your left leg, arms up over your head. Exhale, back to Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, straighten out your leg. Exhale, bend that left knee, maybe a little bit deeper. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, bend that left knee. Take the left forearm to your thigh. Lean into that forearm a little bit. And so remember, we can take that right arm out in front of us. We can bring the right arm up over our head or bring it in front of us. I want you to notice the strong line of energy from the outer edge of your right foot, up that leg, up your side body, out your fingertips. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take one more breath here. Come back, press into your heels. Come back to your warrior 2 and straighten out your left leg. Start to reach those left fingers towards the front of your mat. Make that little crease at your hip and your thigh. Release your left hand. Right hand comes up over your head. Now cat tilt for me. Reach very energetically through both of those arms. Protect what you feel in your left knee. Squeeze your thigh or put a little bend in your knee. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath. Turn your gaze down. Bend your left knee, straddle that left foot, turn the right toes forward, hold your runner's lunge. Step back to plank. Hips high, downward facing dog. Nice job, everyone. I know this is a strong class. My glasses are fogging up a little bit. Lift your head and step your feet up to your hands. Inhale, half lift, hands on your shin, shoulders even with your hips. Pull your belly in. Nice long spine. Exhale, soft knees, bend, fold, rest your belly on your thighs. Now this time I'd like you to really bend your knees and tuck your hands underneath your heels. So I'm really bending, my belly's on my thighs. I'm going to pull myself into my thighs. Keep that energy and try to lift the hips a little higher. But I'm keeping my belly in contact with my thighs. Don't let your belly pull away from your thighs. Think about your spine getting really long here. Nice job. Take one last breath here. Release your hands. Slight bend in your knees. Inhale, ragdoll it up all the way, full breath. Hands come up over your head. Bring those hands to prayer. Bring your hands to heart center. Release your hands for mountain or Tadasana. We'll do just maybe one or two balancing postures. So look down. When we're in our balancing postures, we want to keep the hips and knees, toes forward rather than turn out. You know, ballerinas, they have these amazing turnouts for balance. We're not ballerinas today. So look at your hips. Pick up your right foot and pivot on the ball of your foot a couple times. And we'll move into tree posture. So we can take that right heel over the left ankle. Or we can take that right foot to the left calf, or we can take that right foot to the left thigh. I just want you to avoid the kneecap. Bring your hands into prayer. Be patient with yourself. Get your little drishti, your gazing spot. Press into your palms. Give me a strong cat tilt. Open up that knee a little bit. When you're ready, bring your arms up over your head. Yeah, nice. You can stay like this or grow your branches. You can even be like a little swaying tree. Trees sway, so if you're swaying, it's okay. Don't be frustrated. Be thankful you get to go through a balancing challenge today. Take one more breath here. Now, hands in prayer at heart center. We're going to take that foot away, but keep your knee up high and bring that knee forward. Take a breath. As you exhale, start to hinge forward, keeping your right knee bent. Now, you can keep your hands in prayer. You can bring your hands to your hips, and I want you to extend that right foot behind you and bend your knee back in. I'll turn to the side here. Extend that foot behind you and bend it back in. Fire up your hamstring. Do that again. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, squeeze that heel towards your glute. One more time. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, squeeze it in. Hold it here just for a moment. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Big bend in your left knee. Hands come to the floor. Stretch that right foot back to your runner's lunge. Right hand scoots a little bit closer to your left foot, and we'll open up to a twist to the left. Gaze up at that left thumb if you can. Full breath in. Full breath out. Turn your gaze down, release your hand. Slide that right foot in a little and start to press your hips back, coming into pyramid posture or Pashimotasana. When you come into pyramid, I'd like you to get both legs straight. It's okay if your back heel is off the mat right now. Find some length here. Level your pelvis. Full breath in. Another place for the blocks to benefit us, to help us get the lines of our triangle a little bit straighter. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath. Strong bend in your left knee. Step that right foot forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Knees are soft, belly on your thighs. Bend your knees, ragdoll it up. Inhale your arms all the way up over your head. Hands into prayer. Bring those prayer hands to heart center. Release your hands, standing in your mountain. Look down at your feet. Let's get those hips, knees, and toes all in the same line. Pick up your left heel and just kind of remind your hip you want it to open up for you. Bring your left foot to your calf. Bring your left foot to your thigh. It's always your choice. So where can you find some stillness? Don't be frustrated. Play with it. Hands come into prayer at heart center. Cat tilt for me. When you're ready, take those arms up over your head. You can keep those hands up over your head together. You can release them, grow the branches of your tree, energize your fingers, energize your arms, lift that heart center, take a full breath in, exhale, cat tilt, open up that knee just a little bit more. Yeah. Say something nice to yourself. Encourage yourself. This is something we don't practice every day, so don't talk mean to yourself in your head. We expect way too much. Bring your hands into prayer, and bring those prayer hands to center. Keep that left knee lifted, but take your foot away and bring that foot forward, right? Okay. Take a breath. As you exhale, I want you to hinge forward. Keep your knee bent. Come right to this little tabletop. Inhale, extend your foot back. Exhale, squeeze that heel in. Inhale, extend it back. You can have your hands on your hips if you'd like. Squeeze it in. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, squeeze it in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold, 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 hold. Extend that foot back. Bend that right knee. Hands to the floor. Step back to a runner's lunge. Very nice. Slide that left foot or left hand closer to the right foot and open up to your little twist here. When you come into your twist, I'd like you to kind of press that right hip back. It kind of wants to pull to the side, so swing it back for me. Reach through your fingers. Breathe that breath. Don't hold it. Feel it. Hear it. Turn your gaze down. Release that hand. Slide your left foot up so you can straighten out your leg. It's okay if that heel isn't flat. Let's get those legs straight. You want your blocks? Take those blocks. Get that floor a little closer. And see if perhaps you can just stretch your ribs away from your hips. Get a little bit longer here. Full breath in. Full breath out. This is a beautiful stretch for the piriformis. That's this little muscle that goes from your sacrum to your hip. And for your IT band runs from your hip to your knee, and it keeps your femur in place, your thigh bone in place. So if you're a runner or a cyclist, IT bands get really tight. This is a good one. They're all good, but take a breath. Exhale, see if you can just get any line longer. Any part of the body. Your legs, your torso, your neck. Put a strong bend in your right knee. Step your feet to plank. Hips high, downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Now lift your heels. Pivot on the balls of your feet. Heels move to the right. Bend your knees and lower your hips. A twisted dog. Inhale, lift. Pivot on the balls of your feet. Bend your knees and drop the hips. Inhale, lift. Pivot those heels to the right. Bend your knees, lower the hips. Lift your heels, pivot. Let's move to the left. Inhale and lift. Come back to center. Pedal out your feet. Lift your heels and wave yourself into a plank. Nice and slow. So once you get to your plank, you can bring both knees to the mat, one knee, or keep the knees off. I do want you to notice if you allow your hips to scoop. If the hips are scooping, take a knee and shorten the distance between your hips and your ribs. Press into your finger pads, like you're pressing the floor away from you. Take one more breath. Bring your knees to the mat. Shift forward. Hug your elbows in. Let's go all the way down to the mat. Bring your hands out to the side. Up on your fingertips. Elbows towards the ceiling. Energize your legs. Rolling cobra. Inhale. Let's roll it up. Exhale and release. Try to keep your knees off the mat. Inhale and roll it up. Exhale, release. One more. Inhale and roll it up. Exhale and release. Very nice. Okay, you're going to have to listen here. Slide your right arm out to the side. Left hand comes into your shoulder. Bend your left knee. Take a breath. As you exhale, you're going to roll to the right. Bring that left foot behind you. Right ear stays on the shoulder, or right ear stays on the mat. Shoulders on the mat as well. This is a really great stretch for the front of that right shoulder. So if you feel comfy, you can kind of walk that right hand away from you. Use your breath. Remember, we're tuning into the breath, feeling that breath. One more. Slowly roll to your stomach. And so the right hand comes in, left arm or left hand rolls out, bend that right knee. Very slowly roll to the left, bringing that right foot to the mat or the floor. Left ears down, left shoulders down. And if you're feeling pretty good here, you can try to walk that left hand away from you a little bit further. This stretch is so important for us right now. The way we work, we're all, hunching forward, shortening the muscles across the chest. We're getting really tight across the chest. This posture is very helpful. Take one more breath here. And we'll roll back to the mat. Bring both hands underneath your shoulders. And come up nice and slow. Sit back on your feet. Shift your weight to one side. Get those feet out in front of you. And give your legs a good shake. And then give them a little bit of a squeeze. And draw all of that up towards your groin area. This is helping move some lymphatic fluid through the body. Bend your knees. Inhale your arms all the way up over your head. Exhale, hinge forward. Get your belly to touch your thigh. Then take your arms underneath and give yourself a big hug. Now I want you to stay like this, really big hug, except I want you to press your heels forward a little bit. This posture is called Pashimotasana. It means extreme fold of the west. The west side refers to the back side of our body. So we're just trying to get the back really long. And I have your arms underneath you to protect you from overstretching. So hug yourself into your thigh and then press both of your heels forward. So we're going to find some new length here. Take another breath. Exhale, press those heels forward one at a time. Really trying to get into those thighs. Ribs touching your thigh. Back is a little bit longer. One more. Exhale, press that right heel forward. Press the left heel forward. Now, keep your knees bent. Take your hands back by your hips. Press into your hands as you lift your torso. And give yourself a good shake of your legs. Cross your right foot over your left knee. Sit up nice and tall. Wrap your left arm around your right knee. Take your right arm up and behind you and see if you can look over that right shoulder. Just stay on your fingertips with your right hand and use your left arm to hug yourself into your torso. And maybe you can take your gaze past your right shoulder a little bit further. Just work the gaze past your shoulder. You don't have to take your chin there. Inhale, sitting up very tall. Exhale, taking your gaze past your shoulder. One more. Full breath in. And a full breath out. Soften your gaze and come around to the center. Roll your shoulders back and we'll switch out our legs. And while you're switching, just give them a good shake. When animals get stressed, they go through their stressful situation, they shake everything off, and then they're done. They're not stressed anymore. Humans, we carry that stress for years, right? Like we have one stressful event and then we hold on to it. So just shake it off. It's good to shake. Take your left foot over your right knee. Wrap your right arm around that left shin. Inhale the left arm up. and bring it behind you. Stay on your fingertips. We're going to use that right arm to help us sit really tall, like hug yourself into that thigh, and keep looking past your left shoulder. We don't have to take the chin towards the shoulder. Just open your eyes big. Stretch that gaze. It's really great for the brain. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale that gaze a little bit further. Full breath in and a full breath out. Draw that navel deep. One more time. Full breath in. Full breath out. Come around to center with soft gaze. Roll your shoulders back. Stretch that left leg out. Give it a good shake. And then we'll bring the soles of the feet together, coming into bound angle. So when we come here, there's just about a foot distance between the pelvic floor and your heels. And wrap your hands around your toes. So, I want you to create some dynamic energy. I want you to press into the soles of your feet and then encourage your knees to reach towards the mat. You'll feel something change. Take another breath. Press into the soles of the feet. Press those knees closer to the mat. Now sit really tall. As you exhale, see if you can pull that sternum forward just a little bit. Now where you're at, encourage your knees to reach for the mat. Sometimes this is called Cobbler's posture. I'm trying to get all the yogis in the world to call things postures rather than poses, because Instagram has really made me sad that we strike all these poses, and people are in these really compromising postures and compromising places. That's not safe. But our postures are living and breathing, and I want you to breathe through your posture. When we take a picture, when we pose, we hold our breath. I don't want you to hold your breath. I want you to get into your posture. Take a full breath in. Exhale, press those knees towards the mat and bring that sternum forward a little bit further. One more breath here. Bring those knees a little closer to the mat. Bring that sternum forward. And very slowly come up. Draw your knees in. Take those legs out in front. Give yourself a good shake again. Bend your knees. We'll go on down to the mat. Keep your knees bent. This time I'd like for you to reach down for your heels. Look at your knees. Your hips and knees are in the same line. If you were to make two fists, they should fit really snug between your knees. So the knees aren't touching, but they're not very far apart. And the toes are pointing forward. Notice if you have your toes turned out, turn those toes forward. Take a breath. As you exhale, I want you to press into your heels. Lift your glutes away from the mat. Try to lift your toes for me. Now press into your heels like you're going to push your mat away from you. Take another breath. Exhale, press into your heels. Lift those hips just a little bit higher. Nice strong bridge posture. This is a nice back bend. Take another breath. Exhale, press to the heels. Lift those hips just a little bit higher. Then sweep those arms over your head. Rest them on the floor behind you. And very slowly bring it down one vertebra at a time. When you get to where a heart rate monitor would be, I want you to really cat tilt and be intentional about placing that low back in contact with the mat. Nice. Release that sacrum, release your toes. Bring your arms out to the side. Pick those feet up. Take a breath. As you exhale, take your knees over to the right. Gaze over your left shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale the knees over to the left and gaze over your right shoulder. Keep the shoulders down, please. Inhale to center. Hug those knees in. Bring your feet to the mat. Slide those legs out in front of you. So make some space between your legs. Bring your arms by your side, palms up. Make some space between the arms and the torso. And give it a good shake. Squeeze your hands. Rock the back of your head across the mat. Give yourself some time to really surrender into the mat. Close your eyes. I'd like you to focus on gratitude as you come into your Savasana. And if you're in a place where it's hard to come up with something you're thankful for, then just say, I'm thankful. When we focus on gratitude, we create new neural pathways. Close your eyes. Breathe in the breath of life. And breathe out all that stress. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, I am. Exhale, calm and relaxed. Inhale, I am. Exhale, loving and kind. Inhale, I am. Exhale, letting go. Let it go. Surrender it all. Bring your awareness back to the mat, taking a full breath in. Relax your jaw and exhale it out. Very nice. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Now take your arms out to your sides and then cross your arms across your body. Stack your elbows. You can give yourself a great big hug. See if you can reach those shoulder blades behind you. Give yourself a great big hug. Remind yourself, I am loved. Inhale, open your arms out to the side. Exhale, cross the opposite elbow on top. Give yourself another great big hug. And remind yourself, I am love. We are all an expression of divine love. We need to behave that way. Inhale, open those arms out to the side. Draw your knees in. Give yourself a big hug and gently rock your way to fetal posture. Just rest on your side for a moment. And when you're ready, press yourself up to a comfortable seated posture. Bring your hands into prayer at heart center. This is called Anjali Mudra. It means the seal of the heart. There's a research center called Heart Math Institute, and they have discovered that our heart sends more information through our nervous system to our brain than our brain sends to our heart. They also know that they can measure the electromagnetic field of the heart 3 feet out. So we feel each other's energy 3 feet out. The brain, the apparatus has to be on the skull before we can measure the electromagnetic field of the brain. So there's so much about our heart. It gets me excited every time I talk about it. So bring your hands to your heart and just feel that. Press your thumbs into your sternum and feel your heart. Tune into it. It's full of energy. Nurture the virtues of the heart: compassion, kindness, gentleness, humility, patience, and love. Love wins, my friends. Bring your hands out to the side, sweep your arms up, and give thanks for your amazing body. It's quirky, it's got stuff going on, but you got to be thankful for it. Bring your hands to your forehead and ask for help in having clear, focused thoughts. We all have those things that race around in there. Bring your hands to your mouth, asking for help in speaking the truth with tenderness. And to your heart, asking for help in being more compassionate with others and with yourself. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Om Shanti. Go in peace. Thank you all. Appreciate it.